Good day everyone, my name is Kelly Shanmoyko and I will be discussing the conversion disorder functional neurological symptom disorder. So conversion disorder is the term conversion has been used of and on since the Middle Ages. Since the 1992, it was popularized by Freud, who believed the anxiety resulting from the unconscious conflict somehow was converted into physical symptoms to find a expression. In DSM-5, functional neurological symptom disorder is a subtitle to a conversion disorder because the term is more often used by a neurologist. So we see the majority of patients receiving a conversion disorder diagnosis, and because the term is more acceptable to the patients. Functional refers to a symptoms without an organic cause. It is likely that the old term conversion will be dropped into future edition of the DSM. So, sa DSM-5, ang functional neurological symptom disorder ay isang mas modern term para sa dating conversion disorder. So, karaniwan ginagamit ito ng mga neurologists. Sila yung may mga pinakamaraming pasyenteng may ganitong kondisyon. And mas tinatanggap nila yung mga pasyente kumpara dun sa mga lumang term. So, ibig sabihin, yung functional ay mga symptoms na walang nakikitang physical o organic na dahilan. Kahit hindi ito madaling ipaliwanag ng mga medical na pagsusuri. So, ayon sa mga eksperto, maaaring tuluyan ng mawala ang paggamit ng salitang conversion sa mga susunod na edisyon ng DSM dahil mas masakit o hindi kasi katanggap-tanggap ito sa mga tao. So, the clinical description is the conversion disorders generally have to do with physical malfunctioning, such as the paralysis, blindness, or difficulty speaking, or yung aphonia. So, it is without any physical or organic pathology to account for the malfunction. Most conversion symptoms suggest that some kind of a neurological disease is affecting sensory motor systems, although conversion symptoms can mimic the full range of physical malfunctioning. So, yung ang conversion disorder ay isang kondisyon kung saan yung mga tao ay nakakaranas ng mga sintomas na parang may problema sa katawan tulad ng paralysis, yung pagkabingi o hirap ng magsalita pero walang nakitang physical na dahilan o sakit na nagdudulot ito. So, it's either dun sa 5 senses natin. So, halos parang may sakit sa nervous system kasi yung mga taong may sintomas ay parang epekto ng neurological na problema kahit na wala talagang silang sakit na nakikita. Minsan, kahit anong klase ng physical na problema, pwedeng tulad ng conversion disorder pero wala talagang medical na dahilan para dito. It is important to know that conversion disorder is a real mental condition. It's not picky or attention seeking. It isn't just something in a person's head or that they imagine while it's mental health condition. The physical symptoms are still real. A person with conversion disorder can control with the symptoms just by trying or thinking about it. Closely related disorders is distinguishing among conversion reactions, real physical disorders, and outright malingering or faking is something difficult. Several factors can help, but one symptoms, while regarded as a diagnostic sign, has proved not to be useful. It was long thought that patients with conversion reactions had the same quality of indifference to the symptoms thought to be presented in some people with severe somatic system disorder. So, this attitude, referred to as label indifference, was considered a hallmark of conversion reaction, but unfortunately, this turned out not to be the case. So, yung label indifference ay isang term na ginagamit upang ilarawan ng tila na walang malasakit o hindi pagpapahalaga ng isang tao sa kanilang mga sintomas. So, nung una, iniisip na ito ay tanda ng conversion reaction, isang kondisyon kung saan ang isang tao ay nakakaranas ng physical na sintomas na walang medical na sanhi. So, gayunpaman, napag-alaman na hindi ito palaging totoo kasi hindi ito maasahang palatandaan para sa conversion reactions. So, yung mga sintomas ng conversion reactions ay hindi palaging nauugnay sa ganitong indifference. Kahit hindi rin ito sapat na batayan sa pagsusuri ng kondisyon. So, this is the example of case for conversion disorder ni Eloise, unlearning walking. Eloise sat on a chair with her legs under her, refusing to put her feet on the floor. Her mother sat close by, ready to assist her if she needed to move or get up. Her mother had made the appointment and, with the help of a friend, had all about carried Eloise into the office. So, Eloise was a 20-year-old of borderline intelligence who was friendly and personable during the initial interview and readily answered all questions with a big smile. So, she obviously enjoyed the social interaction. Eloise's difficulty walking developed over 5 years. Her right leg had given way and she began falling. Gradually, the condition worsened to the point that 6 months before her admission to the hospital, Eloise could move around only by crawling on the floor. So, the physical examination revealed no physical problems. Eloise presented with a classic case of conversion disorder. Although she was not paralyzed, her specific symptoms included weakness in her legs and difficulty keeping her balance. With that result that she fell often, this particular type of conversion symptom is called astasia abasha. So, Eloise lived with her mother who ran a gift shop in the front of her house in a small rural town. Eloise had been schooled through special education program until she was about 15 years old. After this, no further programs were available. So when Eloise began staying over, her walking began to deteriorate. So, yung kaso ni Eloise ay isang halimbawa nga ng conversion disorder. So, siya yung isa siyang 20 years old na babae na mahina yung kakayahan niya sa intellectual and may mga problema siya sa paglalakad na nagsimula noong 5 taon and na nakalipas na. So, nung nagsimula ito nang mawala ng lakas ang kanyang kanang binte, unti-unti na siyang natumba. So, sa paglipas ng panahon na yon, naging mahirap na maglakad si Eloise kahit na 6 na buwan pa lang siya bago siya dinala sa ospital. So, nung dinala siya sa ospital, gumagapang na lang siya sa sahig. So, ang isang mahalagang detalye dun sa kaso ni Eloise, which sa kasong conversion disorder is wala siyang physical na problema na makikita sa mga medical test. So, ipinapakita nito na ang kanyang mga sintomas tulad ng panghihina ng mga binte at hirap sa balance ay hindi dulot ng anumang physical na kondisyon. Ito ay isang typical na sintomas na conversion disorder na tinatawag na astasia abasha, kung saan nagkakaroon ng problema sa lakad at balanse na hindi naayon sa anumang physical na sakit. So, bilang karagdagan, si Eloise ay may kasaysayan ng pagiging socially isolated at walang sapat na edukasyon pagkatapos ng 15 taon. So, ipinapakita ng kanyang kaso na maaring magdulot ng stress at mga emosyonal na issue tulad ng kawalan ng pagkakataon sa edukasyon, ng mga sintomas ng conversion disorder. So, sa madaling salita, yung conversion disorder ay maaaring sanhi ng hindi namamalayang emosyonal or a psychological stress na nagiging sanhi na pisikal ng mga symptoms na walang medical na basihan. So, diagnostic criteria for conversion disorder, functional neurological symptom disorder. First, letter A is one or more symptoms of altered voluntary motor or sensory function. This criterion requires the presence of neurological symptoms that affect voluntary movement or sensory perception. These symptoms may include gaya na sabi ko kanina, is yung paralysis, tremors, non-epileptic seizures, or loss of sensation. So the key point is that the symptoms should be physical in nature, affecting the person's ability to move or sense their environment. Halimbawa, pag biglang mawala ng kakayahang maglakad yung isang tao, mawala ng pandama sa kamay, kahit wala naman silang physical na dahilan. Number 2 is clinical findings provide evidence of incompatibility between the symptoms and recognized neurological or medical conditions. This means that upon examination, the symptoms do not align with typical patterns seen in neurological or medical disorders. So, for example, the motor or the sensory changes are inconsistent with the known disease or conditions like stroke, multiple sclerosis, or epilepsy. This often includes physical or neurological tests that show no clear psychological cause for the symptoms. Letter C is the symptoms or deficit is not better explained by another medical or mental disorder. So the symptoms must not be attributable to another medical conditions like a neurological disorder or mental health disorder such as psychotic disorder or the somatic symptom disorder. So this ensures that the symptoms disorderly better understood through another diagnosis. Example is that kung yung isang tao ay may sintomas na hindi may paliwanag na pamamanhid at mga pagsusuri ay hindi sila nagpapakita ng anumang physical na sakit or the neurological disorder. So, maari itong conversion disorder. Lastly is the symptoms or deficit causes clinically significant distress or impairments in social, occupational, or other important areas of functioning of warrants medical evaluation. So, the symptoms must be severe enough to cause significant difficulty in daily life, whether through distress, functional impairment, or the need for medical attention. So, this could involve challenges of work, social interactions, or the other case indicating that the disorder is not trivial or easily ignored. Example is that yung mga pasyente ay hindi na makakilos ng maayos and nawawalan sila ng kakayahan magtrabaho. So, nagdudulot ito ng stress and pagkabahala sa kanilang buhay. So, there are 4 causes of conversion disorders. Experts don't know exactly why conversion disorder happens. So, however, they do know that it's more likely to happen along with certain circumstances and some medical conditions. First is the individual experiences a traumatic event. So, a traumatic event or stressor such as abuse, a major life change, or a serious illness can overwhelm a person's emotional coping mechanism. In some cases, these stressors may lead to a psychological distress that manifests a physical symptoms. So, for example, yung person who witnesses a traumatic accident may develop paralysis in their legs without any neurological damage. So, the traumatic event is the trigger that initiates the psychological process behind the disorder. Second is because the conflict and the resulting anxiety are unacceptable, the person represses the conflict, making it unconscious. So, repression is a defense mechanism in which a person unconsciously blocks out distressing thoughts, feelings, or experiences. So, in this context, the traumatic event or underlying psychological conflict, such as feelings of guilt, the anger, or the helplessness, is too overwhelming or unacceptable to the person's conscious mind. So, as the result, they repress these emotions, meaning they push them out of awareness, often without realizing it. 3. The anxiety continues to increase and threatens to emerge into consciousness, and the person converts it into physical symptoms, thereby relieving in the pressure of having to deal directly with the conflict. When the repressed anxiety becomes too intense and threatens to surface, the individual may experience a process known as conversion, where the anxiety is manifested as physical symptoms. So these symptoms act as a symbolic expression of the emotional conflict. For example, the person may develop a neurological symptom like a paralysis or blindness, which diverts their attention away from the emotional distress, so they are unable to confront. So the physical symptoms provide temporary relief because they allow the individual to avoid the psychological conflict causing the anxiety. Number 4 is the individual receives greatly increased attention and sympathy from loved ones and may also be allowed to avoid a difficult situation or task. One potential reinforcement for conversion disorder is the attention and the care the person receives as a result of their physical symptoms. So when someone becomes physically ill or disabled, they often attract more concern, sympathy, or the assistance from the family, friends, and the colleagues. So this can be inadvertently reinforce the behavior. So if that person is allowed to avoid certain stressful or the anxiety-provoking situation like work, school, or the social interactions, the physical symptoms may continue because they serve as a way to escape these challenges. So adolescents with the conversion disorder were more likely to have experienced some significant stress and adjustment difficulties such as substantial school difficulties or the loss of significant figure in their lives, and they rated their mother as over-involved and overprotective on rating scale. Rating mothers are over-involved or overprotective suggests that these psychologically based visual symptoms may have been strongly attended to and reinforced. Conversion disorders are relatively rare in mental settings, but remember that people who seek help for these conditions are more likely to consult neurologists or other specialists. Like severe somatic symptom disorder, conversion disorders are also found primarily in women and typically develop during adolescence or slightly thereafter. So the conversion reactions are not uncommon in soldiers exposed to combat. So in other cultures, the conversion symptoms are common aspect of a religious or the healing rituals. The seizures, paralysis, and trances are common in some rural fundamentalist religious groups in the United States. So they are often seen as evidence of contact with God. So the individuals who exhibit such symptoms are thus held in the high esteem by their peers. So these symptoms do not meet the criteria for a disorder unless they persist and interfere with an individual's functioning. Treatment. Conversion disorder is a mental health condition that causes physical symptoms. Because of that, treating the mental health component with some form of psychotherapy, mental health therapy is usually the first approach. So it is also usually the most successful approach. So there are the most common types of psychotherapy include the cognitive behavioral therapy or yung CBT. This is the most common type of therapy recommended. Experts are also consider it the most likely to work. Second is the hypnotherapy. This is usually a second option for types of therapy. It may be especially helpful when the symptoms of conversion disorders affect your ability to speak or any of your senses. Group or family therapy. Shared therapy experience can help people with conversion disorder. Group therapy can help also people with this condition connect with others who have similar struggles. So the family therapy can help loved ones understand the condition and offer support. There are other treatments that may help include the physical therapy. This symptoms conversion disorder may start with mental health, but the physical effects are still real. So physical therapy can help people with conversion disorder recover from or adapt to the physical symptoms. Second to the last is the medication. When conversion disorder happens alongside other conditions such as yung depression, anxiety, medication for those conditions can help conversion disorder symptoms also. This is especially true when conversion disorder causes pain symptoms such as the antidepressant can often positively affect pain levels. Lastly, the biofeedback. A biofeedback is an alternative medicine approach that teaches people to change the way their bodies function. It's a mind-body therapy that may improve your physical and mental health. During a biofeedback session, your provider uses monitoring equipment and instrument to measure your body's function. So, based on feedback from the instruments, your provider suggests how you can create psychological changes with education and the practice. You can learn to make those bodily changes without equipment.